Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today you're going to be looking at some footage from a game called IL-2, Sturmovik, Battle of Stalingrad. It's really from the Great Battles series of IL-2. The actual campaign that I'm flying in at the moment is IL-2, the Battle of Moscow, which is a DLC add-on to the Battle of Stalingrad. And the reason I'm playing this today, well, there's a few reasons. One, I've been playing a little bit with Wolfpack345, another YouTuber who does a lot of flight sims and sub-sims. And I've also been flying a little bit with Tortuga, who also is dabbling in the flight sim world. These are some of the YouTubers. Obviously, Tortuga I do my YouTube channel with, or my podcast with. But you know, I've always kind of wanted to get into these, but I've always been daunted by like the DCS world and how difficult those games seem to get into. I was given a copy of IL-2, the Battle of Stalingrad, maybe 2 years ago by the developer, and it was something that I really wanted to get into. I wanted to try. I thought it fit well with my channel. Sort of, it's not a war game per se, but it is a flight sim. It has very strong historical overtones to it, obviously, right? It's about World War II on the Eastern and now the Western Front with Bodenplatte. And so I always thought it would be, you know, fitting for the channel, but I've always been a little bit daunted by getting into it. I'm not a big flight simmer. I did play a little bit of Falcon 4.0 back in the day, but I did it with a lot of the, you know, the autopilot or other settings that were really helpful. I never really learned to play it in detail, and I was always a little bit daunted by some more of the sort of rivet counting type games. But I did try this very briefly, and it seemed somewhat okay to get a plane started up. I bought a pretty basic HOTAS setup. I've got a Thrustmaster 1600M series with the stick, the throttle, and the rudder pedals. So it's kind of more of an entry-level setup. And I figured, you know what, why not give it a go? And I've been playing a very small amount. I actually haven't even, until this, you know, this video here is my first attempt to really shoot anything down. I've largely just been sort of taking off, landing, doing a little bit of flying around with Tortuga and Wolfpack, but not much beyond that. But I decided, you know, why not start to try and get into it? And I really want to do a campaign of this game and make a series out of it, maybe like a role-playing type series. And this is my first mission in the Moscow DLC. I am playing with some realism options on, although not many. I've got the sort of identifier item turned on, so it gets these little red overlays or blue overlays for your friendly or opposing units. I've also got a sort of enhanced visibility setting turned on, and then I've got navigation markers turned on. I think that's about it. I think I also have start with warmed up engine turned on, but most of the realism settings are turned on, so it's relatively realistic, minus some of those probably big helpful items like being able to see the enemy further out or being able to identify them clearly. But the reason I'm talking to you about the game today is actually because it's on sale. I found this game pretty easy to get into and just start playing. Certainly not easy to master, especially the multiplayer element. But the reason I'm talking to you about it today is IL-2 Stalingrad is actually only $8 right now. Usually, what is it? I'm not even sure. I think usually the price is $50 for the base game, which is sort of the entry point to it. Now, there are a lot of DLCs. All flight sim games tend to have a ton of DLC and add-ons that drive the cost way up. Like DCS, you know, you're talking hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. Even IL-2, to get everything they have released so far, is hundreds of dollars. But IL-2, the Battle of Stalingrad, which lets you play with several aircraft and also lets you play the Battle of Stalingrad, is only $8, so it's really cheap. All of the other DLC packs, for the most part, are all 50 to 75% off, and a couple of them are even 85% off. So, you know, if you want to get the campaign add-ons that add the Battle of Moscow, it's only $12. The Battle of Kuban on the Crimean Peninsula, only $12. The Battle of Bodenplatte, which is one of the newer ones, which is on the Western Front during sort of the tail end of the Battle of the Bulge, or I believe it goes into the Battle of the Rhine, that is $25, so that's one of their newer ones. They even have a World War I add-on, which is $40 currently. Usually it's $80. So, I mean, these are some pretty good sales, and they've got a bunch of collector's airframes. The P-38 is, I think, $10. and like the LA5FN is $5. The F190A3 is $3. So I mean, they've got a lot of really good deals on some of their DLC packs. So I figured, you know, why not go ahead and make a quick video about it, let you guys know about the sale, and let you know that this sale is on until November 3rd. So there's still a little bit of time if that's something that you're interested in. Highly recommend you check it out. Also recommend you check out Wolfpack's channel if you're really interested in someone who knows what they're doing. I really don't. I think I get a little bit lucky here. I need to go back and double check what difficulty settings I have on here. But you know, I do a little bit of damage here. You know, after clumsily sort of weaving through my formation. That was a nice explosive kill there. But yeah, so I highly recommend, if you're interested in this game, check out Wolfpack345's channel. He does some great content on it, as well as some role-playing stuff on it. He's in the middle of a I-16 Soviet campaign. The I-16 was an obsolete Soviet fighter at the start of World War II, but it's a really entertaining watch. Definitely recommend you check it out. I also did want to just give you guys another call out. There's another sale going on right now because of Europea Universalis', I think it's its 20th anniversary. And so all the EU stuff is 50% off, I believe. Even the newest DLC pack for EU4 is, I believe, 50% off. I think it's like $9 right now for the Emperor DLC pack. So if you are interested, I would recommend you check that out. You can get Europea Universalis. Actually, the base game is 75% off. It's only $10 right now. So I like to talk a little bit about news from time to time on the channel, and this is just one of those episodes with some IL-2 content in the background, some good sales going on. Something I'm also dabbling a little bit in is sort of this idea of having a new weekly, or probably more likely bi-weekly type of episode where I would kind of talk about wargaming news. I think that would be something that, you know, just based off the fact that when I talk about new games that have been announced, it seems like there's a general they're pretty well received. So I'm thinking about doing some kind of occasional segment. I don't know how regular it'll be. There's not a ton of wargaming news all that often, but it might be worth something, kind of just trying to bake into the channel a little bit more regularly. I do plan to have some videos talking about some new games that have been announced. First off, there's a new Field of Glory game coming out, not a DLC, an actual standalone Field of Glory 2, so it's still the Field of Glory 2 engine, medieval. So it'll take the Field of Glory 2 engine into the high medieval era, which I think could be pretty interesting. I know Field of Glory has a really large following. I think they're currently about to start a 300-person online multiplayer tournament, which I'll put a link into in the description if that's something you're interested in. But I'll talk a little bit about more about that game in an upcoming video, and then also a new DLC for Graviteam's, I believe the World War II Russian front one came out. I forget the name of it, but it's a 1941 Graviteam DLC pack. So quite a bit of wargaming news or historical gaming news that has come out as of recently, and I just thought that's not proper English, is it? And I just thought it was something that you all might be interested in. Let's actually double check this here. It is, so the new DLC that came out is Graviteam Tactics Edge of the Storm, or Edge of Storm. So that is a new DLC pack that looks at, I believe it's it's in October of 1941. So the Red Army is obviously reeling from the German invasion, but they have started to slow the German advance a little bit, and it looks like it's a DLC that focuses on the southwestern front, in the sort of, I think it's Belgorod and Donetsk industrial regions. So it's sort of in like Ukraine, where this new DLC pack comes out. It includes 6 operations of 4 to 8 turns each, and is a 190-kilometer area that it covers. So interesting. I'll probably do a video about the Graviteam DLC. I don't do a lot of Graviteam stuff, but I do think it's kind of similar to IL-2, where it's one of these like, you know, really detail-oriented historical game that a lot of people get into, but it's just not something I've covered a ton on the channel. That doesn't mean that I don't think it's a really interesting concept. Graviteam has always been fascinating to me. I've just never been able to get over the UI. So I'll probably do a video about the Graviteam DLC, and then I'll also do a video about the Field of Glory 2 medieval announcement, sort of my thoughts on that. And maybe that'll be the start of somewhat of a quasi-regular series where I talk more regularly about gaming news. I don't know. We'll see. In any event, guys, let me know your thoughts below. You know, do you want to see more IL-2 content? I won't pretend to be a simmer. I'm not. I won't pretend to be an ace in this kind of stuff. It would be very much a series of me sort of learning to fly, although this is a Dead is Dead campaign that I started, so it could be very short. But this mission went well. You can see, obviously, I shot down 2 enemy aircraft now, and I start going after an IL-2 here as well, although I think this video cuts off before the end of the fight. I end up running out of ammo before I can shoot the damn tank down, because IL-2s are basically flying tanks. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts below. That's enough of me rambling. This was just sort of a 10-minute channel update today. Hope you guys are enjoying this stuff. And if you want to see more IL-2 content, let me know. If you want to see more news-type stuff that this channel might cover, let me know. I am flying. Also, one other thing I didn't mention, and that's probably why there's a little bit of disorientation watching this, I am flying with a track IR5. So that's sort of a sensor that you put on top of your monitor that tracks your head movement, so then you can more easily move your head around the cockpit and sort of keep an eye on you know, things that are going on around you. Really, I think very valuable in the flight sim game, but something that I just sort of recently picked up, and I think it's like 140, 150 bucks or something like that. But you definitely don't need that to play in this game, although it is helpful to have that kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. That's enough of me rambling. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.